Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So I thought I'd put not a pause, but I thought I'd just talk about some better things that aren't as gloomy as these past videos. Though, granted, I'm not going to stop them. They are a part of my history, and if somebody can learn from it, take everything with a grain of salt, then that's great. But I just figured, on a brighter note, let's talk about hitting the reset button. That's always a thing that I hear. Like, if you try a new path or whatever, you are hitting the reset button. I don't think that's technically true. I don't think you just press a button and magically everything resets. There's always going to be that path that you came from, that you were on. For me, my path is changing again. That's all that it is. Since this COVID thing, I've had to really struggle and figure out, what I'm going to do with my life, because a lot of things aren't open. A lot of places aren't hiring since I did lose my job. So, yeah, there's some heavy choices that I've had to make, and I have made the decision to go back to school. Now, it's not a long program, but it's something that's going to hopefully better the door, open some opportunities, and it will allow me to start my own business. However, this isn't, I know how some people are going to view it like, oh, you're following in your brother's footsteps, or you're just doing what he's doing. No. That is not what I'm doing. I am doing something for me, something that I want to do. And since I was probably in high school, I always wanted to own my own business, whatever that looked like. For a while there, I thought I was going to do childcare or open my own bakery. And this path that I chose to go on, it's not going to be easy. I am fully paying myself through school. You know, I'm not taking out any loans, or I'm not asking for money. This is solely 100% on my own. And then it's the steps of working into opening up a website, to starting the business, getting my business name. It is going to be a definite stressor. It is going to be a stressful time in my life, and I'm probably going to get more gray hair than I already have. But in the end, it will be worth it. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of hard work, and it's going to be a lot of pushing myself past the boundary of past where, I've kind of stopped myself and be like, oh, I'm not ready for it, or, this is going to look a certain way. And I've had to talk to myself. Yes, I do talk to myself and be like, hey, Jess, you have to do what's best for you. So what if this sort of looks like what, other people in your family are doing? So what if this looks like you're following somebody's footsteps? You're doing it for you. This isn't somebody's forcing you to do this. This isn't somebody just guiding you to do this. This was solely 100% your decision. And I think a lot of people, they freeze on certain things that they want to do. They want to take a step back and be like, oh, that might look a certain way, because they might hurt somebody's feelings, or they might have people question your decisions. And, all you have to do is say, I did it for myself. I'm doing this for myself. And I know how hard that is, especially if you're sticking up towards people, are close to you, like family or friends. And it is not easy to magically snap your fingers and, stand up to these people. I mean, I'm going to have that struggle too, because I'm always the type of person that's quiet, stays in the background, doesn't say a lot, allows, a certain amount of light to shine on my brother. And that's my fault. I always put the pressure on myself that I wasn't, the best daughter or the best sister, so just let me stay in the background and I'll do my things quietly. And, never asking for help because, people too busy helping my brother. That is a weight I put on myself. I've always put on that weight to, you have to do everything on your own. You have to figure it out. You fucked up before, and that was not a good situation, and you let a lot of people down, so now you have to figure it out yourself. Now, that will sometimes, not all the time, backfire. In certain situations, that has backfired, and it has made the situation a lot worse, relationship-wise, between family and friends for me. And it's a slight balance where you have to figure out, when to reach out for help, when not to. And it is, again, always a sticky situation, kind of like, you don't want to toot your own horn, you don't want to, like, stick out, you're not looking for praise, and you're not looking for glory and, like, a pat on the back. You just want to share that information, and some people might take it to the extreme of, like, oh, you're just looking for attention. And those people are just fucking dicks. Like, that's all that it is. Like, that's all that it comes down to, is that maybe they're not happy with their life, so they have to stir the pot in your life. There are going to be people in life that no matter what you do, say, accomplish, it's never going to be good enough for them. And that used to beat me up a lot. I used to be like, well, I have to be better then. I have to be better. But then it got to the point where it's just like, well, fuck them. Like, honestly, fuck them. If they aren't happy and proud of you, of your accomplishments and what you've done in life, then fuck them. Like, again, easier said than done. I know, I've been there. There was a point in time where I let it eat me up inside, and I let it bug me. And of course it still bugs me. But it gets to the point where it's just like, well, you know what? I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. And if you don't like it, well, there's the fucking door. Again, easier said than done, guys. I understand that 100%, I still am that type of person that kind of shies away from that a little bit in certain situations. And it is a struggle to say those words to people that you care about and you have a relationship with. And, you don't know if you say those words, if that will break the friendship or relationship or whatever it is. And again, it's always about that fucking balance. But in the end, you have to do what's best for you. Yeah, you might say some shit. Yeah, you might, do something that people aren't going to support or encourage, but it makes you happy. And that's all that matters. Those people are going to regret not supporting you and being proud of you, or they're just going to wallow in their self-pity. But again, you have to move forward and do what's best for you. And again, I struggle with that all the time, guys. I am not gonna front. I am 100% honest with you guys, always. And again, easier said than done for a lot of things. You can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? That's always this thing. And yeah, sometimes I can do the walk, but in other times I can't, because, I'm having an off day, or I just don't feel like conflict, or I just don't think it's worth it, And it's a balance of trying to figure out, what is worth it, having this disagreement or just like letting it go, but knowing that, what you're doing is making you happy and is making you feel accomplished and making you feel proud of yourself. It's always about what's best for you. Granted, that situation might change, when you have kids and, a spouse or a partner, and, then it's like, oh, well, there's more than one person to, make happy. Kids come first. But then I hear the disagreement that's like, oh, the kids don't come first, your relationship with your partner should be. Granted, this situation is very touchy, and I don't have a lot to say because, But if your relationship does have a great solid foundation, sure, of course, not every day is going to be rainbows and butterflies. Of course, you're going to fight or you're going to disagree because, you're not the same person. But, that is okay to show in front of your kids. Not to the extent where you guys are arguing and fighting, but if you have a small disagreement, then that's okay to show, because it's like, oh, well, your opinion matters, my opinion matters, and their opinion matters. But having that open conversation, again, age appropriate, even as all adults, without kids, and just like being adults, we're always afraid to have that open door conversation, that, oh, I'll just agree with their opinion because, well, that will cause a fight or a disagreement. That's what I have discovered lately with certain people, in my life, that it's only their opinion that matters. Who gives a fuck about anybody else? Is what is best for them and only them. What they say goes. And that doesn't always work for everybody, I feel like I'm allowed to have an opinion and voice my concerns. And, they don't want to hear that. That's their decision, I'm not going to argue with them because it is tiring, because they don't hear it. They just throw a tantrum and, then they want somebody to just say, yeah, you were in the right. They want, and that's what they're used to. That person is so used to everybody saying you were in the right and other people were in the wrong. And that's just so frustrating to work with, or to be around, or to have a relationship with. And I'm learning to kind of let go and step back and just be like, if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. But I know what I said. But, what you did and said was really, like, cruel and inappropriate. And the way that you were, like, treating me. But again, he was told that behavior was fine. That it didn't matter what he was doing. So, again, like, having a conversation with a person who thinks that they did nothing wrong, it's frustrating. So, you know what? I've learned to just let it go. Be like, whatever. If you want things done on your time, that's fine. That's cool. But that might not match up with my time. You have to be prepared for that. And if you're going to be pissed off about that I can't help. So it's all about finding that balance. But I am, making some healthy choices in my life. Granted, will it go as planned? Who knows? Lots of roadblocks ahead. But I am trying to better my life. And this new journey that I'm on, this new path, is going to be exciting, stressful. The unknown is going to be a little scary, but I am super excited to begin this new journey. Anyways, guys, that's my spiel. I know the last video has been giving me so much trouble with uploading, so hopefully this video gets up, because the other video that I filmed is still, uploading, so it's kind of just doing whatever it's doing. So hopefully you guys see this video. I will figure it out, guys. I apologize. I know these videos have been kind of like all over the place for like uploading and posting, and that's YouTube's fault. That's not my fault. I have a good internet and everything. It's just YouTube is just slow on that. So I'll figure it out eventually. We'll figure it out. But until then, guys, until the next video, remember, never give up. Always keep fighting. Remember, you're enough and you're very much loved. So sending all my love to you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.